right, if everyone's ready, we're going to go ahead and get started. First of all, let me just say thank each of you for being here today for our Republican Caucus press conference. As many of you recall, we came at the very beginning of the session and announced what the Senate priorities would consist of. We talked about the six priorities. First of all, being the PROTECT Act, along with the FAST Act, CONNECT Act, enhancing mental health treatments in Georgia, raising the Georgia lottery returns as well, and then the Georgia Regional Transit Council as well. We're excited to announce that we delivered on all six of those commitments to the citizens of our state. And really, our focus has been around making sure that Georgia's business environment is very right and successful. And what we did with the FAST Act, which is getting more transparency as it pertains to the permitting process, where industry understands what they can expect to be delivered to them in a timely manner, is something that we're very, very proud of. Making Georgia continue to be the #1 state to do business in is a very, very high focus for us. Along with that, making sure that the credentialing component, which is the CONNECT Act, is equally as important, ensuring that education is better aligned with what industry needs are, and that we're producing the kind of industry certifications that are required at the high school level as well. A lot of great accomplishments, and this actually at the end of this week on Friday we'll be having another big part of our agenda, which is the repeal and replace of the Affordable Care Act, or Obamacare as many of us refer to it as. We will have two experts coming into the state on Friday at 1 o'clock in room 450 of the Capitol to talk about what we can anticipate in terms of us being prepared for what the repeal and replace will look like going forward. Today was Law Enforcement Day, and obviously we're very, very excited about being able to recognize law enforcement all over the state. But we also had the Back the Badge initiative that we were very focused on as well, making sure that we're protecting those that are protecting us as citizens. And so with that, I would like to turn it over to Senator Schaefer, then will be followed by Majority Leader Bill Caucus.
Excuse my voice, which is falling victim to last week's spike in the pollen count. I'm proud to stand here with the Lieutenant Governor and the Senate Republican leadership, and I'm very proud of the work that the Senate has done through crossover day. We've said that the Senate Republican Caucus's priorities are Georgia's priorities, and they are. And that's because they address the very real struggles that Georgians face. They're not abstract philosophical questions that we're trying to solve. We're trying to help all Georgians enjoy a little more freedom, make a little more money, put a little more food on the table, feel safer in their homes and with their loved ones, and earn a better education. I think our Senate priorities help accomplish these goals, but the process is far from complete. We still have 11 legislative days to go, and the struggles of Georgians are not going to go away simply because crossover day has passed us. We have a lot of work to do, and I look forward to working with my fellow caucus leaders and our Senate Republican caucus in getting that work done. Our Senate Republican leader, Bill Caucus.
Thank you, Mr. President. We are very pleased this year with the work done by the Senate Republican caucus and the leadership given to us by the Lieutenant Governor. The first thing we wanted to focus on was the safety of Georgians, and we called it the PROTECT Act, which is really putting Georgia in the front of the nation in our anti-terrorism efforts. We broadened the definition of domestic terrorism. We gave the Attorney General the power to prosecute those type of actions, made it apply not only to attacks against individuals, but also against our critical infrastructure, and including bacteriological and biological weapons. We have split the Georgia Department of Homeland Security out from GEMA to make it more efficient, and we're going to try to more clearly specify the duties of the Fusion Center, which is a collaborative effort with federal, state, and local authorities to fight any type of threats to our people, but in particular terrorism. We're excited about the FAST Act, looking after small businesses to reduce the regulations on them, streamline and speed up the permitting process, help make it easier for people's licenses when they move here from other states, have a temporary license in Georgia so they can get right to work, and help bring new businesses to the state of Georgia. We're also excited about the Connect Act, which is a way to try to help educate our students so they can get credentialed in different industry areas, and their career sort of base learning will have them ready for jobs as soon as they graduate from either high school or technical college. On the mental health end, we're very grateful to Senator Utterman and her help in creating the Georgia Mental Health Task Force. We're going to try to assess and enhance our state's ability to provide mental health services to our citizens. Finally, on higher education and pre-K, we're trying to increase the efficiencies and the profitability of the Georgia Lottery, to increase the payments made for the Hope Scholarships and pre-K programs. We're going to mandate that the profitability increase from its current level, 25.5% up to 26.5% next year, 27.5% the year after, and 28.5% the third year. That will cumulatively increase money being paid over to the Hope Scholarship and pre-K programs by $126 million a year as we go forward. It has built-in safeguards in case sales go down. We'll have circuit breakers where those increases will stop. And we're very gratified that we have over $1 billion right now in reserves for the Hope Scholarship to make this a low-risk proposition. Finally, we're excited about some of the work that our senators have done. Senator Gooch carried a bill on the Georgia Regional Transit Council, creating that council, and we're going to develop a plan to help reduce congestion and study future transportation innovations in the state of Georgia. We're very proud of the work the Senate Caucus has done, the Republican Caucus has done. We think this is a very aggressive agenda. It's good for the people of Georgia. Be happy to take a few questions here today. I want to turn it back over to the Lieutenant Governor, but these ladies and gentlemen behind me have worked extremely diligently through the first 28 days, 29 days after today, and we look forward to a completion of a very successful legislative session for the people of Georgia. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Leader. I also want to add the echoes of the leadership team that really was focused this session on these core priorities, and every single member behind me was instrumental in the passage of each of these, and we also had tremendous bipartisan support as well. And this is really what is right for Georgia. It's not necessarily what's right for a party, but what advances each individual's lives. So we're excited about what we have to look back on, but we also have a lot of work ahead of us as well. So let me have some questions. We'll open the floor up if anyone has any questions.
Today, leaders in the House and Senate and the Governor honor law enforcement officers. There is a bill in the Senate that would do something for sheriffs. The sheriffs are seeking raises for their employees. What is the public's position on that?
Well, as you know, one of the things with Back the Badge initiatives, we had 4 pieces of legislation. One of those called for a compensation commission, which will be comprised of members that the governor, myself, the speaker, local law enforcement, as well as local officials would be part of looking at the overall compensation of local law enforcement officers and making some recommendations to the local jurisdictions to see how those salaries and how compensation can be curbed in order to assist. Along with that, we also increased the indemnification fund as well for those individuals that are family members, sadly enough, that have had someone in their family as a fallen officer, to $150,000 payout, which is something that certainly can be helpful as well.
Is there any piece of legislation that you didn't quite get to the finish line for and that you're trying to pass in these upcoming days?
Well, obviously, I mean, there's always a lot of bills that don't get through, but I do think that there were very few that were left on the calendar or left in the Rules Committee this session. Now our focus really is about taking up the House bills, and obviously there's a number of those that have come over. Many of the tax legislation that typically or does have to originate in the House and we'll be taking up. But I think so far my assessment is that the session has been very, very focused, and it's been focused really on the priorities of the citizens of our state. Yes. Yes.
The House has passed campus carry. How quickly do you think that process?
Well, obviously, the campus carry bill has passed both the House and the Senate last year with the governor's veto, and it is before us again now. I do anticipate, obviously, the Senate will take up the measure, and it will go through the committee process, and we'll look forward to working with the governor's office to see if there's a compromise there.
I don't remember a while ago, the working committee in the House basically substituted the House version this afternoon. I'm wondering, are we going to see a fight down day 40 again like we have in the past, or just as we work out the differences in these things?
Well, it's not our hope that we will have a fight at the end. Oftentimes, we have been at the end of the session with the cannabis bill and always looking at how to expand that more and more each year. And oftentimes, it becomes very contentious at the very end. We believe that the Senate has obviously sent the House a good proposal, which is an expansion, and with a rollback on the THC level. And it would be my desire that we would try to have serious dialogue now to get a compromise and an agreement over what that bill would look like prior to the 12th hour of the session. And so that's certainly what we're all looking to hopefully accomplish. I think our position is a good position, and if we want to try to help those kids with autism, and cannabis the oil is a solution to that, then that offer is on the table, and I think something that could be negotiated with the House.
That just came out today. What do you tell parents of those kids who are on 4% right now, 4.5% right now? Is it going to be a situation where they just feel like we're going to just progress it, we're going to have to go back away, or what do you tell them?
Well, obviously, I mean, we're not looking to try to hurt anyone. This is here to help, and certainly with the issue of the THC levels, we also have a responsibility to ensure the citizens of Georgia that this is not being manipulated in a way for recreational purposes or other things. Oftentimes, we just simply talk about the children, and we certainly want to help them. And the trials that are going on with the Medical College of Georgia, there's a lot of avenues that are out there, and we are looking for solutions. We're not looking for additional problems.
With regards to SB1, do you feel Georgia and other organizations have voiced concerns that it might lead to increased policing, and that also protesters' First Amendment rights might be infringed by some of the broadness of the language? What would you say to that?
I don't think there's any validity to that whatsoever. Obviously, this is here specifically for the purpose to give greater protection to all, and this is not intended, nor do I believe it will be used to take away anyone's ability to protest in an orderly manner or exercise their First Amendment rights.
My other question to you would be about increasing access to care was something that you named at the beginning of session as a priority, and there hasn't been mental health initiatives obviously have gone through this recent work on opioids, but rural healthcare infrastructure still hasn't quite seen some kind of investment or major change. So what are your thoughts about what policy solutions might there be moving forward?
Well, I think there's a couple of things. First of all, I mean, the role of the healthcare is a true concern within our state. We have the tax credit that is out there, and we're looking to make significant adjustments to that going forward. But we're also looking at opportunities and reshaping the way healthcare is going to look for the future. With what Washington will be doing, and obviously with our hopefully close ties with HHS Secretary Tom Price, we believe it creates a wonderful opportunity with a block grant funding method in order for us to create new types of products within the state, looking at the high-risk pools that are out there and how we can also do that in a very innovative way for Georgia. are all great opportunities going forward. So the healthcare discussion will continue as more comes out of Washington and more predictability we can see.
Last question, guys.
Anything else? All right, thank you very much.